Tonight, we're diving into something that really blurs the line between science fiction and, well, strategic reality. We're going to unpack a national blueprint, a plan that's not just about competing on the world stage, but about fundamentally changing what it means to be human.
High-level intelligence reports warn that China is aggressively engineering a genetically modified super army designed to dominate the globe by 2049. Sources indicate the CCP is manipulating DNA to create indestructible warriors who feel no pain, thrive in sub-zero freezes, and, most terrifyingly, can survive deadly radiation in the event of a nuclear World War III. To soldiers with superhuman intelligence and strength, the West is being warned the era of traditional warfare is over.
So let's start with a question. And honestly, it's a question that sounds like it was ripped straight out of a comic book. What if a soldier could survive a nuclear blast? And I don't just mean survive, I mean continue to operate, to function right there in the radioactive fallout. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? But it's not a thought experiment anymore. It is an active research objective. The key to this seemingly impossible idea, is actually found in one of the toughest little creatures on Earth. It's leading to a plan for what's being called a tardigrade shield, a way to engineer radiation resistance that even the military scientists working on it have described as supernatural. Okay, so the science behind this is centered on a tiny microanimal called the tardigrade. You might know it as the water bear. Now, this creature, it can survive doses of radiation almost 1,000 times higher than what would be lethal for any of us. Its secret, a unique protein called D-sub. That stands for damage suppressor. And what it does is amazing. It literally wraps itself around the creature's DNA, forming a physical shield that stops radiation from shredding it to pieces. And you have to understand, this isn't just a theory. Scientists at China's Academy of Military Sciences in Beijing have already done this. They took that tardigrade gene and successfully inserted it into human embryonic stem cells. The results? They were just astounding. The modified human cells didn't just show incredible resistance to radiation, they kept functioning normally. They even divided at a faster rate, all without the catastrophic mutations you'd expect. The stated goal here is crystal clear: to create soldiers who can operate in a nuclear fallout zone. So how is this even possible? I mean, taking a gene from one of Earth's tiniest creatures and putting it into human cells, it just sounds like something out of a movie. But it's all made possible by a technology that is completely revolutionizing biology as we know it. That tool is called CRISPR-Cas9. The best way to think of it is like a pair of molecular scissors, but they're guided by a sort of biological GPS. It's this incredible technology that lets scientists find a very specific sequence in a long string of DNA, make a precise cut, and then edit it. They can delete a gene, repair it, or even insert a brand new one, like that D-sub protein from the tardigrade. It is, without a doubt, the master key to unlocking and rewriting the very blueprint of life. But, just having the tool is only one part of the story. The other part is the speed and the scale at which you use it. And as you can see from this chart, when it comes to actually applying CRISPR, China isn't just in the game, it is dominating. The sheer number of clinical trials they've initiated just blows past their competitors. It shows this unprecedented push to get the technology out of the lab and into real-world applications. Now, a revolutionary tool like CRISPR, it needs one absolutely critical thing to work effectively, especially at scale. It needs fuel. And in the world of biotechnology, that fuel isn't a chemical, it's not an element, it's data. And we're talking about massive, incredibly diverse sets of human genetic data. And this is where the scale of all this becomes truly mind-boggling. One of the primary engines for this massive data collection effort is a company called BGI Group. Their non-invasive prenatal test, which is marketed as Nifty, has been used by more than 8 million women in at least 52 countries all around the world. Now, on the surface, the Nifty test looks like a straightforward medical tool, right? It's for screening for conditions like Down syndrome, but the data it collects serves a dual purpose. As this table shows, that routine information, things like genetic markers, the mother's age, and medical history, it's not just used for that individual's care. It's being used to map the traits of entire populations, to identify genetic vulnerabilities on a massive scale, and crucially, to train the next generation of AI-driven tools for biological design. So let's put the pieces together. China has the tool, CRISPR.
They have the fuel, that massive database. But what really lets them move so fast, what allows them to fuse these things together faster than anyone else, is the system itself. See, in the West, research is guided by really strict rules about personal data privacy. There are strong firewalls between civilian and military research, and radical experiments on humans are, for good reason, heavily restricted. China, though, operates under a totally different model. It's called Military-Civil Fusion, or MCF. Under this strategy, data is viewed as a national asset. That line between civilian and military research, it's intentionally blurred. And ethical standards, well, they're often described as flexible or lax, which creates an environment where rapid and sometimes pretty radical experimentation can happen. This fundamental difference is what experts call an asymmetry in ethics. And this isn't just some philosophical debate. No, it's a core strategic advantage. It basically functions as a powerful accelerator, allowing for research at a speed that's just not possible in the West. And this is how that system works in practice. It's like a seamless pipeline. So step 1, civilian data is collected globally through commercial companies like the one that makes the Nifty test. Step 2, all that data is stored centrally in the National Gene Bank. Step 3, it gets analyzed by some of the most powerful supercomputers on the planet. And then step 4, the insights are applied directly to dual-use research, including the programs run by the People's Liberation Army to create those enhanced soldiers. And you have to understand, radiation resistance is just the very beginning. This research goes across the entire spectrum of human performance. Scientists are targeting a gene called SCN9A to essentially neutralize the feeling of pain. They're looking into mitochondrial engineering, so soldiers can operate for up to 120 hours without sleep. They're exploring ways to augment cognition, better memory, better focus, and even looking into things like reptilian night vision. This is the full blueprint for a super soldier. So let's step back for a second. We have the destination, the enhanced soldier. We have the tool, we have the fuel, and we have the system that's powering this whole enterprise. So the final question really is, what does all of this mean for the future? What it means is that we are entering an entirely new era. The official mission is to achieve dominance in what China calls intelligentized warfare. This is a future where biotechnology, artificial intelligence, and brain science all converge into one. And the goal here isn't just to be on par with other nations. It's to create an unmatched world-class military by the year 2049, which is the centennial of the People's Republic. So let's just quickly recap the most important points here. First, China is actively and openly pursuing genetically enhanced soldiers, and that project covers everything from radiation resistance to cognitive enhancement. Second, all of this is being made possible because of their dominant position in using CRISPR gene editing technology. Third, the research is being fueled by that enormous global collection of human genetic data. And finally, the whole thing is put on hyperdrive by a state strategy of military-civil fusion and what has been called an asymmetry in ethics. And all of this, it brings us to one final, really profound question. You know, for all of human history, our biology has been a matter of evolution, of chance. But we are right now standing at a threshold where the code of life itself can be rewritten with intent. So when the blueprint for life becomes a blueprint for power, what comes next?